Okay, so Drive, one of the best movies of 2011, or so I've heard. I mean, this is a movie which has got a lot of, positive reviews, critical acclaim, I guess we could say. I mean, a lot of people like this movie. Is like, everyone was talking about this in 2011. I've only just now gone around to watching it. So the story of this is basically about a stuntman for movies, kind of like Kurt Russell's character in Death Proof, Stuntman Mike, except he's not a psychopath. He's a stuntman for movies in a sense that he drives cars. Like, he's not a guy who like jumps out windows or anything. He's a guy who drives cars, for car chases or car crashes, that sort of stuff. And this guy, he's like awesome with cars. He knows how to handle them. So that's one of his character traits, I guess you could call it that. And basically, he kind of does this little, I don't want to give too much away about the plot, but he does this thing, a legal thing, let's say, like as like a side job to earn a little bit of extra cash, I guess. He offers his services to people, mainly thieves, people who want to do bank jobs. Like this begins with him offering to drive for two guys who rob a bank. I think it was a bank, I can't remember. They robbed something, but he basically drives them. He's like he's like a stereotypical action hero kind of guy. With the badass lines, and he kind of has this really cold set of rules that you must follow if you want his services. Stuff like that. It's great. I really that sort of stuff is fun to listen to, that sort of stuff. Like, it's really like he has these like badass cliche lines, but it's kind of, I like to think the people who made this movie were aware of this, of how kind of like how much of a stereotype of an action hero kind of guy he was. I'm pretty sure that's what the guys who made the movie intended. But basically, here's what he does. He drives people who want to rob banks as like his part-time job, I guess you could say. So here's the rules he gives them is that, okay, so it's like, you choose a time and a place. I will be there at that exact time. From the time that you chose, you have me for 5 minutes, and 5 minutes only. I will drive you away from the police, and he's basically their bitch for those 5 minutes. If anything happens to his robbers, the people he's driving, escorting, let's say, if anything happens to those people on either side of those 5 minutes, like a second out of those 5 minutes, if anything happens to them, it's not his problem. He doesn't care. He will not help you. So basically, make the most of him. When you have him for those 5 minutes, make the most out of him, and he'll do some impressive stuff for you. Like, he drives the guys away from the police basically in the first 5 minutes. But those set of rules is like, it's kind of like a really, like, you expect like a stereotypical badass action hero kind of guy to do say those sort of things. Like the way he tells the robbers, he's like, after this you won't be able to reach me on the phone again. Then he just hangs up and goes to the place they asked him to meet them. Like, he just says that sort of stuff. And it is fun to watch, and I like to think the people who made the movie were aware of how kind of really cliche the character was, but it's done in a really cool way. Like, it's just like a way where you can just make I like to think this is kind of what they were going for, because he's kind of like really, the way he does that sort of stuff is kind of like a typical action hero, if you know what I mean. But I like to think that they were aware this is what they were doing, hopefully. Yeah, so this character, he's like extreme. Oh yeah, actually a bit more of the story. So basically, you might think that the whole entire movie is him doing these jobs for like all these robbers, but it's not. He only does this thing twice in the whole entire movie. This is just like a trait of the character. This is just something the character does every now and again. But he basically, the movie is, I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but basically after, so the introduction of the movie is to the characters, him doing a job for these two guys. I think they rob a bank or something, but he drives them away from the police. So we get an introduction to the character through that. So after that, basically he moves into an apartment. The girl next door he really likes, and it's kind of a bit of a romance story. It's not, yeah, a bit of a romance story, let's say that. And the movie kind of stems off from there. It turns into a gangster movie, a revenge movie. You could break this movie down to a revenge movie. That's basically what it is. But so it's like a revenge gangster movie, which involves gangsters. This movie is an original. This movie is an original, not by a long shot, but you know, a movie doesn't have to be original to be amazing. This movie is just amazing because they do it well. This whole gangster revenge storyline thing they do, it's done well, and that's why this movie is so awesome. They just do it really well. So it's not original, not by a long shot, but why it doesn't have to be. That's my point. So about the character, he's like extremely introverted. He like never speaks. He does speak. He speaks every now and again. Like he has very, very few lines throughout the whole entire movie. Not a bad thing. I'm just saying. I'm just, you know, describing the character. So he's extremely introverted. He barely ever speaks, but he's kind of lovable anyway. Like he's like charming. Like I was sitting there watching this movie, and like he hangs around with the girl. Like he goes out on a date with the girl, but he never ever speaks. Or he speaks every now and again. He just utters the one or two words when he's with her. But you just like I was smiling at her because I don't know. It's just him never speaking or barely ever speaking. It's just like I just smiled a lot of the time. Like it was kind of funny, but like I mean, well, not funny, but it's like in a charming way. Like I wasn't smiling as if I was going to laugh. I was just smiling because he kind of seemed really charming because he never spoke. So the character and the actor does a good job as well. The actor is great, but the character never like speaks. He's kind of emotionless, not fully emotionless, but you know, it made me smile. Just him, it just made me smile. I just thought the character was great. It's fun. He was fun to watch. Like he barely ever speaks, but it's just really fun. And of course, that kind of links back to the really cliche action hero kind of guy. You know, who just delivers a few badass lines, and he has a set of rules, like the one I explained earlier. Anything happens to you on either side of those 5 minutes, not my problem. That's basically what he says, and he's just a great character to watch. And also, this movie has, I'm not sure who the actor is, but the guy who played Hal in Malcolm in the Middle, he's in this movie, and I was so happy to see him. Like I haven't seen him. The only time I've ever seen the guy who plays Hal in Malcolm in the Middle is from Malcolm in the Middle. I've never seen him in any other movie before, so it was awesome. It was a nice surprise to see him pop up in this movie. Like I really like the actor. He's great, and he's awesome in this movie as well. It's really fun to watch. Okay, so this is one thing about the movie. I've heard this a lot before. It's done in a certain style. The way the movie's shot and edited, it's in a really weird style, and the style it might put off some people. So that's what I heard about the movie beforehand. Like a lot of people love it, but I also heard that this movie had a style to it, which kind of made me a lot of people don't like the movie because of the style. And that made me cautious about seeing this. Like, I wanted to see it and I wanted to love it, but because I heard about this thing about the style, I was kind of like, okay, you know, I was cautious that I might not. I was aware, but I was preparing myself not to like it just in case. Because of this, I heard about the style, and I was thinking maybe I won't like the style that the movie is in. And yeah, the style, it's weird. Like you know, it's just weird. I'm not sure if these directors, when they choose these sort of styles, if they're trying to convey something. Like it's just weird, but I like the style. It's fine. It was just there. I didn't mind the style. For those of you who are expecting like an awesome action, yeah, I better warn you guys. If you haven't seen the movie or you're planning on seeing it, I love the movie. If you're expecting gunfights, action, explosions, non-stop car chases, whatnot, there's barely any of that in the movie. The movie starts off with the guy driving the two robbers away from the police. Like, so you get a bit of action with it. So that's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, let's say. And I'm not even exaggerating. The next 15 minutes of the movie, there's no action whatsoever. All there is dialogue. So like a lot of people, you know, if you have a short attention span, be prepared. This movie is going to bore the hell out of you. But if you're going to actually, you know, if you care about the character, if you're going to pay attention to the dialogue and you don't mind that, then great, watch the movie. Because after the story of the movie doesn't really get going until like 50 minutes in. So after you get like 50 minutes of dialogue and character development and whatnot, and just setting up the characters, that's when the actual action and story begins. And from that point onwards, the action doesn't stop. It's non-stop action from there, pretty much. Non-stop like scenes, or just non-stop great scene, you know, non-stop awesomeness. Let's say that. So if you have like I said, if you have a short attention span, just prepare yourself for 50 minutes of dialogue between characters. It's basically setting up the romance between the driver and the woman he's fallen in love with. So it's basically the first 50 minutes are just setting up this romance. You know, so then it's ready for the of a part of the movie. I think this movie is like over 2 hours long, I think, so you get like a good 60 minutes of action anyway. So if you have a short attention span, just be warned. There's 50 minutes of dialogue-ish, 50 minutes-ish. So just be warned, just saying. I didn't mind it, like I was fine with it. Like I was paying attention to everything, I was ready for everything. It's fine, and yeah, the style is weird. I can't really describe it, you really gotta watch it. For example, is like I said, it's kind of like a revenge movie, so the main character, the driver, he's hunting down a few people, and this isn't a spoiler, he does succeed in killing some people. I'm not going to say who, but basically, for example, when he kills some people, it's really graphic. Like you see, like this movie, again, this movie is pretty violent as well as pretty brutal. It has some pretty cool moments of gore, if you like that sort of stuff. I do. If you like that sort of stuff, this movie will satisfy you there. It's weird. I guess this is part of the style. It's just really weird because, for example, he kills one person. He's it's a big moment. He manages to kill one person who he's been trying to kill for a while, and when he does kill him, you see it all. Like it's really graphic. Oh no, actually, sorry. So for example, he kills one of the drug dealer's henchmen. He kills the henchman in like a really brutal way. Like he curb stomps him. Like his head is literally crushed to like dust, and it's pretty brutal. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Let's say that. But so like it's really gory, and when he kills one of the henchmen. So when he succeeds in killing a big figurehead of the movie, like more of a villain, someone who's more important. When he succeeds in killing someone who's more important, you're expecting for some really elaborate, sick, really brutal death. But it doesn't even show it. It happens off screen. Like literally, all it shows is him walking towards the bad guy, and then bang, we cut away to the next scene, and it's just implied. You're just left to assume that he killed the bad guy. So I guess that's part of the style. I guess like I didn't mind it. I thought it was really weird. I was just like, okay, I guess it's part of the style, but I didn't mind it. Like I wasn't pissed off that they didn't show like some sort of really gory death or anything. But I didn't mind it. But I just thought it was really weird and worth mentioning. So this, like, I guess it's just part of the style. Like, I can't describe the style. The style is really weird. Like, some shots just linger on the characters for like 5 minutes more than they should have. Well, not 5 minutes. I'm talking like 30 seconds more to be more realistic. But it's just really weird. But I kind of like the style. I can't describe the style, but it was amusing to watch. Like, I don't understand the style as in, is the director trying to convey certain emotions or themes or some sort of message through the style? I don't think so. I think it's just style for the sake of style. Like I think it's the director being stylistic for the sake of being stylistic. I don't know if it's supposed to like represent the 80s. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be doing. Like as far as I know, the style was just there. Like the style was just there. So I'm not aware of if the director was using the style to convey some sort of message or theme. I don't think so. I think it's just there for the sake of being stylistic. But it was amusing to watch. Like the style, it's entertaining. It's weird, but it's like entertaining to watch. The style is amusing to watch. So I have no idea if the director's trying to convey a message or theme or something. If he was trying to convey a message or theme or something, it went right over my head. But I don't really care. It was just amusing to watch. So the style, it was fun to watch. It was amusing, and I guess the whole thing about the death of such a main character or something happening off screen, and you are left to assume it happened. I guess that's just part of the style, and it's just really weird. One thing I will say about this film, it's really well shot as well. It's just well shot, and I guess that kind of goes into the style as well. Just the way some scenes are shot, it's just done really well. Okay, the music was great as well. I'm not a lover of music, but the music in this was pretty cool. I'm not sure what the genre is. I think it's techno. I'm not too sure what the genre is, but I think it was synthesizers. I think that's the sort of instrument they use for it. But it was interesting. I liked the music choice. It was interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this was, oh yeah, going back to the music kind of reminded me of the original Dawn of the Dead. And a bit of Creepshow as well. The music kind of reminded me of those two films. Anyway, on to the next point. The motel room was fantastic. The motel room, there's a scene. It takes place in a motel. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. It's just awesome. Very well directed. It's very tense. Like you are generally kind of like sitting there, kind of on the edge of your seat, kind of like, okay, what the hell is he gonna do next? You're just like, how's he gonna get out of this? And you kind of feel like the panic that the character does, where Basically, he's being confronted by two people with shotguns. I'll just kind of say that, and you know, he's kind of trapped in a way in the motel room, and it's just really, really tense, and you do kind of feel the panic that the character is feeling, and you're kind of like, oh my god, how's he going to get out of this? You are kind of feeling like that. You know, you're kind of like panicking as much as the character. Like I was really into the movie at this point. I was just like, oh, okay, how's he going to get out of this one? That was a great scene. Just well directed, and you know, everything was just really well done. Okay, coming to the end of the review now. Okay, so the acting was great. Every single person did a damn good job at acting, I'll say that. And okay, so I'm going to talk about the ending. No spoilers, don't worry. But the ending is kind of... Okay, jump cut. But, so I was talking about the ending, I think. So the ending is kind of anticlimactic, I'll say. Again, this relates back to the style. It's hard to explain my feelings on the ending. Like, the ending is really anticlimactic, but at the same time, you know, at the same time, like, it's really anticlimactic, but at the same time, it's good. Like, I liked the way it was anticlimactic. Again, it relates back to the style. The ending was really anticlimactic, but I liked the way it was anticlimactic. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it's hard to explain. It's hard for me to describe my feelings, my thoughts on the ending. But some people might not like the ending because of the way it's shot and how it's anticlimactic and stuff. Personally, I liked the way I just liked it. Like, it was anticlimactic, but I liked the fact that it was anticlimactic. But like the way how it was anticlimactic, I liked. It's hard. It's hard to explain. I can't really explain it very well. But yeah, that's everything I have to say on Drive. So, awesome movie. You know, it has some great action. The main character is badass, in a really kind of cheesy, stereotypical way, but like at the same time it's kind of good. Like, I hope they, you know, that's how I felt about the main character. He's badass in like a really cheesy, stereotypical 80s action hero kind of way. But I think they were aware of that. The people who made the film. I hope so, at least, because, you know, I hope so. But yeah, and of course, if you like violence, if you like brutality, if you like gore, if you like blood, this movie has that too, with great special effects, so you'll have fun with that. So the style might piss off some people, the style might, some people might like, some people might just not care for the style. Personally, I found it pretty amusing. I'm not sure if the director was trying to convey some sort of message or theme through the style, but I liked it, and I didn't really take notice of any message or theme, but the style was amusing and entertaining. Great music, well shot, the motel scene was awesome. And it was just, around all, it was like not original, but a very, very well done and entertaining film. Just, if you're going to watch it, just prepare yourself for like 50 minutes of dialogue. If you know, if you have a short attention span, or if you're bored easily, then I'm just warning you, there's like 50 minutes of dialogue at the start of the film. So just, you know, get ready for that. But it's an awesome film. Definitely watch it, and that's pretty much all I have to say. So thanks for watching, see ya.